Hello and welcome to today's live. I think we are on day 18 of my 365 days of lives. And I've got to say, like, the resistance to these lives is right up there at the moment. There's always, like yesterday, like the excuses started to come up. Like today, I'm just like, where can I fit it in? Like I've had, my intention was to go live this morning, but then I had a dentist appointment and then couldn't really talk because my cheek felt like it was out here and I couldn't really talk properly. So I was like, no. So here we are, like nearly 5:30 in the evening again. And like the resistance is real at the moment. Like it's like, oh, who wants to, like there's this voice in my head, so who wants to even know what you've got to say, and all of these like lovely things that that voice keeps telling us. And I guess this is, especially when you're running a business, that like that resistance and that like messy middle, it does keep coming up a lot. And I'm mentioning this is because at the moment I'm in this almost like limbo when I'm just like not quite sure what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, but it very much feels like it's all a little bit disconnected and disjointed. And then me trying to sort of get it all like on one page. Something isn't quite like gelling, something isn't quite working at the moment. I'm sort of working out what that actually is. And I was like at the point yesterday, which is one of the reasons as well why my resistance at the moment is so high, I guess. Where it's just like, shall I just stop my business? Shall I just go get a job in a supermarket and just do that? Just have some predictable income, like I know what I'm doing, blah 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 blah. And I'm just, as soon as I started feeling into it, it's like no. And I like was asking my guides, and they was just like, no, you are meant to be doing this. You are on this path. Like all of these, like I constantly feel like I'm in that messy middle part. I feel like I have like 1 or 2 days where I'm just like, yes, I know what I'm doing. I'm going like straightforward. And I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. And that is, I guess, the joy of cyclical living and running a business in a cyclical way, because I very much go with the cycle and with the energy. So where we are taught, essentially we are taught to constantly just keep going. And I just saw that the chat is disabled for the stream. I have no idea why. I have to have a look into that to see if that's back on tomorrow. But yeah, where it's just like like the constant going that we've been taught, especially as women, that's like very much a masculine way of doing. And like I can see like my husband, for example, he can do that. He can just keep going. He can just keep going and going and going and going. Whereas for me, it's very much like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And quite often it feels like the up is usually 2 days, and then the down is like a lot more days, essentially. And that's not me saying like I don't, I'm in a bad mood or anything. It's just like energy wise, and to like really run my business, it's tough at times. It's tough most of the time, so I'm not gonna lie. And again, I think this is something that it doesn't really get spoken about very much in like on social media or wherever. So it's like all just like an up and down. And for me, just to sort of like it's a not an easy one just to sort of admit that I have doubts, but also they, I believe, are normal. And it's, I guess, part of the sort of journey. And like, as I said, like when I was like feeling into this yesterday, should I just quit my business and like go work in a supermarket or something like that? Like when I felt into that, I was just like, no, there is like this mission inside of you just to really like help women reconnect with themselves, with their bodies, with their wombs. And I was like, okay, like that's a very clear like answer. And then I asked my guides, and I was essentially telling me the same thing. I was like, okay, fine. So I have like that was yesterday when I did that, and then this morning I was feeling a little bit better. I'm still like in the limbo, but this is like the messy middle part that we are in the majority of the time. And I remember one of my mentors saying that I seem to be okay with like all of this middle, like being in the middle. And I was like, you must be kidding. I was like, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I was like, I like, number one, I'm German. Like, I like to know, like, need to do this. I'm very much conditioned. I'm working on that. But like, it's very easy for me to be in my masculine, like very easy for me to jump into strategy. Just like I can just do that. I can jump into strategy, into anything like the logic straight away. It's like the feminine sort of flowy part. I don't want to say the intuition part because I'm really easy on that. I can really easily tap into that, but like being more in the flow and all of that, that is really hard for me. I have to like more think about that. And so being like in this like messy middle where it's like very flowy and very like, oh, it's pulling or like all of my strength together, and like really it's just, I very much just like the messy middle, but it is part of life and especially business. And despite what it might look like, because as my mentor said, she's that I'm navigating this like really seemingly really like absolutely fine. It might be looking on the outside like that, but like navigating like the uncertainty and just the unknown. I'm also Taurus. I'm Taurus Sun, Taurus Rising, and have like a lot of placements like in as a fixed sign in my chart. Like being like in the flow of things is generally not really my strength, which is why it's almost so funny to me that I'm doing this work and that I'm like really like just going with the flow just generally, because it's contradicting me constantly essentially and pushing me outside of my comfort zone as well. But this is what it is like. And like if you're at the moment in a doubting stage, just work with it, just sit with it as well. And I always say, don't make a decision like, if it's like a decision like me where I was thinking about like, shall I quit my business and just go into a job? And there's nothing wrong with that if you do. But depending on where you are in your cycle, that decision might be different at different points. So I, for me, always say I don't make a decision like from one point. It's just I'll keep checking in with myself how I feel about things, and then I do it, which is also almost like a contradiction of myself because I like to do decisions very fast. Like I just want to get on with things. I just want to move on. So for me to like feel into things sometimes, into like big decisions, because let's face it, like quitting a business and going into a job is a big decision. But yeah, so just notice where, if you are in that sort of situation, just also notice where you're in your cycle. Just generally when you are like in that messy middle, that's why I keep saying just keep writing down and noting down all of the symptoms that you have, and all of the, not necessarily all of the thoughts, but some like key thoughts. Like yesterday I did write down in my like I've got it actually here. My little, what is this called? Moon phase. What is this actually called? Oh, it's just a moon journal. Inside you can, I'm like not actually gonna show you my page from yesterday, but you can like over, there we go, over here and literally write down what day of the cycle it is, and then my mood or my energy. It's more my mood. And one of the ones like yesterday I actually said doubtful, because that's what I was. So I was having a lot of doubts. I was like, as much as I don't want to admit to that, but I kind of want to track that, because if that becomes a pattern, I know it's not at the moment, but if that becomes a pattern, I know I can again see that, deal with that, and know almost to ignore whatever things come up in my head at that point in the cycle. If you want to know more about like the tracking part of things, I did do a live. I'll link it in the description, where I go a little bit deeper into all of this as well. And if you see my screen move, it's because I decided to use the washing as my stand today, just to keeping things real here, because I'm on the, as you can tell, on the bed. Our washing was just here, so in a nice neat little pile. So my laptop is on there, so when I move, my screen moves. So apologies for that. But yeah, I think for today, this could have gone so many different ways, and there were other things coming through, but this is what came through and wanted to really come through. And I think that is it for today. Considering I can't speak anymore, it definitely is it. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.